Guys, welcome back for another week of wedding pro tips. And for all of you who are new to the channel, welcome. This is an amazing community to be a part of. We're all about being positive, supporting each other, and just helping each other become better photographers and filmmakers. This week, I'm gonna give you 7 tips on how to make cinematic wedding films. On top of photography, I'm doing a lot of wedding films, and something I'm really passionate about because, well, when I first started, there were so many cheesy wedding films, and it hurt to watch them. And I was really passionate about making cinematic wedding films that, you know, they're just the type of videos that you just want to watch over and over and over again. And even for myself, I got married 3 years ago, and I so appreciate our own wedding film. Just having a wedding film that you can watch every now and then just to remind you of your wedding day and to enjoy it again. So let's get into it. So tip number 1, get to know the couple and the guests. And what I mean by this is that it's super important to build a relationship and to build trust with your wedding couple and as well their guests. I always love to meet up in advance at a coffee shop, or if not possible, do a few FaceTime calls just to get to know the couple, get to know their story, get to know who they are and what they're all about, because already you're building a certain level of trust with them. But not only get to know the couple, I as well want to get to know the guests. I always tell the couple that my goal is that by the end of the wedding day, I'm not just a wedding videographer at the wedding, rather I'm one of their friends. I'm one of the guests at the wedding. And the reason why I do this is because when you're at a wedding, it's quite an intimate moment. And if there's just some random stranger there, it kind of feels weird. And even the guests are kind of like, oh, who's that guy? Why is he here? But if you get to know the couple well, you get to know the guests well, and you almost become like an old friend, people are gonna be a lot more relaxed around you. People are gonna be able to just be themselves when you're filming. And it's just gonna make the whole wedding film more natural and more fun. And just a little final tip, whenever I'm filming, if I lift up my camera, and if I notice that people see me, they notice that I'm filming, and you can tell right away that they feel awkward, I don't even bother to film anymore. I just put it back down, wait for a little bit, they totally forget about me, and then I go back up and start filming again. So whenever you're filming, please don't film when you notice that people are awkward or feeling uncomfortable, because the footage is not gonna look good. So why bother filming then? It's all about making the guests and the couple feel natural, feel comfortable around you, so you get the best possible footage. Tip number 2, be light and fast. I talked about this earlier in one of my videos, but I'm all about being like a ninja. You know, I don't wanna carry around all this gear all day long because really, it's just gonna bring you down. So I'm all about having a really light setup. So for example, when I'm doing the wedding films, I pretty much only film with the GH5 and maybe the Sigma 35 or the Canon 16-35 or maybe a Canon 50mm. Just a few lenses, one camera body. Most of the time I'm filming handheld even. If I really want a long walking or panning shot, then I'll pull out the glide cam, but I really keep it basic. And my theory about this is that the lighter the gear setup, the more you're gonna be able to go around, get the right shots, you're gonna get those run and gun moments, and as well, you're not gonna be distracting. Like I talked in tip number 1, you want them to feel comfortable. So if all of a sudden you have this huge bazooka of a camera setup, they're probably not gonna feel comfortable with you there filming them. So make sure you try to be really candid with your gear, really light. It's not only gonna save your back, but as well it's gonna get you more natural footage. Tip number 3, film multiple angles. You are gonna thank yourself when you go to the editing room and you start editing the wedding film because you filmed multiple angles. So when it comes to cinematic wedding films, you wanna have multiple angles from multiple directions, because when you're cutting the footage, it's really hard if you're always just filming forward, forward, forward. It's not gonna look natural, but instead you could have a shot of the couple at the church, a shot from the side, a shot of their hands holding, a shot of their feet, a shot of the bridesmaids, a shot of the groomsmen, a shot of the families, a wide shot, a tight shot, a medium shot. Getting a variety of shots, a variety of angles is gonna make the wedding film so much more interesting, and as well, it's gonna save you so much time in the editing room. So make sure you film from multiple angles, multiple focal lengths, wide, medium, tight, and you are gonna just ace this wedding film. Tip number 4, don't mess up the must-have shots. Obviously in a wedding day, there's always those must-have moments. For example, the kiss at the altar. You know, you don't want to mess up these moments because you want to have them. So maybe for these moments, film in a more confident angle that you know that you're going to get the shot. But then in the rest of the day, when you do have that opportunity just to get creative and try out different shots, and where you have the room for error, go ahead, try out whatever kind of creative ideas you have because it's not gonna hurt your wedding film. But if you try to get super creative with those must-have moments, you might get into some trouble because you can't redo the kiss at the altar, for example. So make sure you get the must-have shots, but as well, once you have those, it's gonna buy you the freedom to get creative and try more creative shots. So make sure you have the must-have shots. Tip number 5, hunt for the emotions. When I'm filming throughout the day, I'm always trying to find the people who are laughing a lot, people who are crying. I'm trying to find kids because they're always just having so much fun. I'm trying to hunt for emotion because the more emotion that your wedding film is gonna have, the more enticing it's gonna be, the more epic it's gonna be. So make sure you're not just filming someone just sitting like this. Rather, find the guys who are laughing, who are smiling, who are enjoying themselves, because that's just gonna show out in your wedding film. It's gonna show that people are really enjoying themselves that day. So make sure you hunt for emotion. Find the people who are laughing, find the people who are smiling, find the people who are crying, and that's gonna get you the best possible cinematic wedding film. Number 6 on how to get a cinematic wedding film, make sure you have a cinematic grade. Nowadays, there's so many resources to help you with grading, especially if you're new at this. It can be a little bit overwhelming and daunting, but there are so many resources out there. For example, using a LUT, having a base preset, a base grade for your video footage, it's gonna help you so much because from there you're just gonna do some minor tweaks. For example, I saw my cinematic LUT pack, and really it's as easy as just throwing on the Cine Perfect skin tones and then just adjusting the exposure, maybe adding some contrast, and you're good. As well, make sure you have the right skin tones. A lot of times skin tones are really delicate and they can go off, but that's just gonna make the bride and groom and all the guests look so much better. For example, I love using Colorista because you have the hue, saturation, and lightness, and you can use those to adjust the skin tones. If the skin's a little bit more red, you can make it a little bit more warm or orange. If it's a little bit too yellow, you can bring it back and bring it to be more orange. If it's too saturated, you can just desaturate a little bit, and all these steps are gonna get you that cinematic grade. So make sure you really work on the grade for your wedding film. It's gonna make it look a million times better. Don't rush this process. One thing I like to do is that once I've graded the film, I export the film and I watch it again and I give some constructive feedback. I go, at 5 seconds, that was too warm, or at 10 seconds of the wedding film, that was too cold, too little contrast. And even just taking that one extra step to just constructively give some feedback to your grade, or even to show it to someone else, it's gonna take your grade from here to a 10. So make sure you go through that constructive feedback process, because a lot of times when you're grading, your eyes kind of get used to it, and maybe when you look at it the next day, you realize, okay, maybe I should do some adjustments to the grade. So make sure you do that when you're doing your grade. And tip number 7 on how to make cinematic wedding films, and I'm probably gonna emphasize this the most, is your music. There are so many wedding films out there that use cheesy music, and it just ruins it. Or, you choose music that doesn't fit at all the scenery or the mood of the film, for example. If you were doing a really moody, dark, cloudy, rainy day in Iceland, you probably are not gonna put a really happy folk music into the video. But for example, if you're having a really light, sunny day, you probably don't want to put really moody, epic song into that. So it's choosing the right song for the film. For me and my company, Heart Visuals, I love to have just this light, happy, fun vibe to the videos. So I'm using a lot of folk music, a lot of happy, upbeat, a lot of whistling. And my goal when I'm choosing wedding music is that when I'm editing, if after I'm done editing, if I'm whistling or humming the tune of the song, I've chosen a song that's gonna be good. I want to be using songs that are so catchy that they just get stuck in people's heads, because that just means that the song is gonna just really bring you in, really just allow you to enjoy the footage with amazing music in the background. So make sure you take the time to find the right song. I know sometimes in the editing process you're in such a hurry just to go and start editing, and maybe you rush the song selection step, but really you should take so much time to choose the right song, because that's gonna be the foundation for your film. So make sure you choose the right song for your film. And for myself, I personally love using music from MusicBed. And I don't know if you guys have heard, but MusicBed actually just this week released monthly subscriptions. So before, you're probably paying about $49.99 for one song to use for a wedding film. But now you can pay $79.99 a month to get unlimited amount of songs. And this is definitely worth it because especially in the wedding season, you might be doing 4+ weddings a month, meaning that you're gonna save so much money by doing the monthly subscription. So I'm gonna make sure to link that below. You can check out the monthly subscription to sign up for that. Jump on board because it's gonna be so worth it. You're gonna save so much time and you're gonna have access to just thousands of amazing songs that you can use in your wedding films. All right guys, that's this week's episode of Wedding Pro Tips. 7 tips on how to make a cinematic film. Hopefully this will help you out. Let's comment in the video section below. We can just support each other, answer each other's questions. And if you have any other questions regarding wedding films, write it down below and I'll answer as best as I can. Guys, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like the video and comment below.